There is a moment when everything you thought you were begins to dissolve. When the noise of the world fades just enough for you to hear your soul whisper, "You were meant for more." This video is not just information. It's a portal. A doorway into the version of you that already exists, just waiting to be remembered. If you felt the stirring inside you, if you sense the chaos around you isn't a sign of destruction, but of awakening, then you're in the right place. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore a truth so powerful. It can rewire your mind, realign your heart, and reshape your reality. This isn't motivation. This is transformation. Let's begin. Let me just write down 4 thoughts that often come up. I can't. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow. This doesn't feel right, whatever this is. But here's the thing, how you think, how you act, and how you feel, that's your personality. And your personality is intimately connected to your personal reality, your life. So, if you want to change your life, your personal reality, then you have to change your personality. And here we go again, you have to start becoming conscious of your unconscious thoughts. Write them down. Now, if you become conscious of those thoughts, you become the governor of your mind. Did you know that less than 2% of Americans actually write down their intentions or goals? But those who do, those who actually write them down, have an 80% greater chance of achieving them. Why? Because when you write something down, you're telling your brain, I mean this. It becomes a direction you're moving in. It has to be ongoing. This is what we call a to-be statement, something you're evolving into. Once you're clear on your intention, you must find your sponsoring thought, your reason, your why. That's the driving force behind your change. If it's health you want, maybe it's about vitality. Maybe it's to look and feel better. If it's wealth, maybe you want freedom, the ability to do what you want, when you want. So, when you define your intention and couple it with a sponsoring thought, you're giving your body an emotional taste of that future. Now the next step is to plan your actions. Master your day, one day at a time. You're already dismantling the old part of yourself. Now say to yourself, today, the thought I'm going to have is, I am a genius. I accomplish everything. I live in no time. The universe provides for me. The universe moves in my favor. Different compartments of the brain begin to unify, to synchronize. And what syncs in the brain, links in the brain. When your brain is coherent, you are coherent. When your brain is incoherent, you are incoherent. We've seen huge areas of the brain synchronize. The left side talks to the right. The front of the brain communicates with the back. This whole brain state starts to take place, and I see it every time. When people feel so complete, it becomes impossible to want. Because how can you want, when you already feel whole? That's the moment the magic happens. We see it on brainwave charts, sudden surges, followed by pauses. 10 minutes later, another wave. We know what's happening, downloads. The person is having epiphanies. They're receiving raw information that's beyond the senses. Because the nervous system is the superconductor of consciousness. Now write down the feelings you'd have if that future had already happened. And then, you must feel that feeling before it occurs. What does an abundant person feel like? They feel free. They're in love with life. Grateful. Joyful. Abundant. Let's practice that. The moment you feel gratitude, healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you begin generating wealth. The moment you feel empowered, you move toward success. The moment you love yourself and love life, you'll attract your equal. The moment you're in awe of life, you're inviting a mystical experience. That's what we call causing an effect, not waiting for one. So what if we could teach people to create, not from lack or separation, but from wholeness? To create from what we call the quantum field. Unlike the 3D world, the quantum field is an invisible field of energy that exists beyond the senses. You can't see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, or touch it. It's beyond the physical, but it's real. How much of your waking day are you aware of energy and frequency? Most people aren't, and if you're unaware of it, then it doesn't exist for you. Yet science confirms, there is an invisible field of frequency and energy that connects all things. Everything material is connected to this field. So how do we get there? We discovered that when you take all your attention off your body, off your emotions, off your habits, and off your external environment. When you stop paying attention to your phone, your computer, your car, your bed. When you take your attention off of everything familiar, something dramatic happens in the brain. We call it getting beyond yourself. You're dissociating from the 3D world. Because wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. And if your attention is stuck in your past or on the material world, that's where your energy is. But the moment you go beyond that, you access the field of infinite possibility. When I can stay in that place of uncertainty and the unknown, I can transmute that energy into clarity or gratitude. Even if there's chaos around me, I can raise my energy. Why? Because I'm filling the void, the gap between the old self and the new self, with new information. And when you change your energy, you change your life. In other words, you're so busy being elevated. No, you can't predict what's going to happen. You're just very clear. You're not going back to those familiar cravings and urges. You're moving forward with energy that pushes you, that guides you. That energy is like the flame in the alchemist's crucible. It turns base metals into gold. It burns away the dross. So, yes, purification comes with agitation. There's got to be a stirring. And I believe, over the last year or two, many of us have felt this intense stirring inside. That's because the energy is so strong that our nervous systems have had to adapt. It's all part of the transformation. Our purpose in life is to remove the layers, the masks, the habits, and the emotions that block the divine flow within us. Every morning, before you open your eyes, before you reach for your phone to check WhatsApp, texts, Facebook, before you plug yourself back into your familiar world, sit there. Get very clear on what that future looks like. Begin to emotionally embrace it before it even happens. If you do that properly, you're stepping into a new state of being. The first thing I'd tell anyone to do is to decide what you truly want. That's the first step. What does your ideal future look like? Get clear. Write down the specifics. Whether it's your family, career, relationships, whatever it is. Define that vision of your future self. Then, write down the emotions you'll feel when it happens. Will you feel joyful? Enthusiastic? Full of energy? In love with your life and in a constant state of gratitude? Now, you have a clear intention and an elevated emotion. Most people live in the past. Their thoughts, their feelings, they're just recycling old memories. But feelings are the end product of past experiences. So if you're feeling the same emotions every day, it means nothing new is happening. If those emotions are driving your thoughts, then you're thinking in the past. And if you're thinking in the past, you're creating a predictable future. By the time most people are 35, they've become a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, beliefs, and perceptions. Pretty much running on autopilot. That means their 5% conscious mind is trying to fight against the 95% subconscious programs. So the first step to change is to become conscious of your unconscious thoughts. To observe your automatic behaviors. To pay attention to the emotions you feel daily. When you begin to free yourself from those addictive emotional patterns, you open your heart. And when your heart opens, it produces a magnetic field. Sometimes extending up to 9 meters beyond your body. If you can teach someone to feel an elevated emotion and sustain it, it's like dropping pebbles in water again and again. The waves grow, the frequency expands. And if they feel deeply, richly, profoundly, it's like dropping stones. Now they're creating big waves. Waves of energy, and energy is frequency. All frequency carries information, just like radio waves or Wi-Fi signals. Those waves now carry your thoughts, your intentions. You are transmitting a vibrational pattern, and that pattern begins to influence matter. But here's the thing. People are afraid to let go. They'd rather feel guilt, because at least it's familiar, than take a chance on possibility. You have to start mentally rehearsing the future. At the end of your day, ask yourself, how did I do today? Did I live by the vision of my future, or by the memories of my past? Because thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and feel creates your state of being. So if you start your day anchored in the familiar past, you're going to create a predictable future. Your body, your unconscious mind, will just repeat what it knows. Some people cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves them. And they say, I don't see how my thoughts have anything to do with my destiny. But that's because 95% of their thoughts are subconscious programs. They're not even aware that they're thinking those thoughts. So the first step is this. Start thinking about what you're thinking about. And then, change it. When you start observing your thoughts, the game begins. Because now you're becoming conscious, and working not to fall unconscious again. It takes an incredible amount of awareness. A great deal of energy. And you can't have consciousness without energy. You have to raise your energy to get there. If not, you'll get consumed and pulled back into the old patterns. But if you become so conscious, so familiar with your unconscious thoughts, they can no longer sneak by unnoticed. You catch them. And when you combine a clear intention, a coherent thought, with a coherent heart, an elevated emotion, you're creating electromagnetic alignment. Because thoughts are electric, and feelings are magnetic. The magnetic field becomes the energy. The intention rides on that energy. Now you're broadcasting a new signal into the quantum field. And if you keep revisiting that signal, again and again, every single day, then you don't have to go out and chase your new life. The new job finds you. The new house finds you. The new relationship finds you. Because you have become the vortex that draws the experience to you. If something stirred within you today, if a part of you feels lighter, clearer, or more alive, that wasn't just this video. That was you, remembering who you truly are. The journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. If this message resonated with your soul, subscribe to this channel, Inner Awakening, to keep aligning with deeper truths. Like this video if it helped shift your perspective. Comment below with what awakened within you. I read every word. And share this with someone who's ready to awaken. Remember, your energy creates your reality. Your awareness is your superpower. And your transformation is inevitable. Until next time, stay conscious, stay aligned, and stay awake.